Well, then the run just keeps going on, ladies and gentlemen, as it finishes at St James's Park. Newcastle United 3, Wolves 0, in a very strange game where I don't think we were actually at our very best tonight. However, the front three once again looked absolutely magical, and we end up seeing Wolves off 3-0. The score, I think Wolves deserve to score, if I'm openly honest, and that's just me being an honest fan. Wolves did create some great opportunities and should have had at least a goal, but luck went our way with a couple of them, and Martin Dubravka stopped the rest. So, listen, he is on the form of his life right now for Newcastle United. Another clean sheet, and well done to the goalkeeper. No Fabian Schär in the squad before the game. It was announced that he had an illness, so that made Eddie Howe's decision a little bit easier. However, I think he was always going to go with Botman and Burn tonight. I think they deserved to start the game, given how they'd performed in the two games in North London. But, you know, we started off, first couple of minutes, we looked lively. But then Wolves came into the game. We started being a little clumsy with the ball. We definitely looked rusty, and I don't know why that was, whether that was just a little bit of fatigue or whatever. I don't know. Some of the passing was excellent, and then, you know, a minute later, some of the passing was terrible. And we couldn't hold on to the ball. Isak looked very lively with his runs, but he couldn't control it. It was bouncing off him. Gordon was making some brilliant runs, but couldn't keep the ball at the end when it came to making the final pass. The one who looked really lively first part of the first half was Jacob Murphy, firing in crosses again, had a great shot, well saved by Jose Sarr, who had a very, very good game for Wolves, by the way, as well. Really good reading of the crosses as well. When Murphy was pinging them in, he was coming out, he was ready on his 6-yard line to intercept any ball coming across. But you know what it is? It's a sign of how good we are right now, that even though we're not at our best, we can beat a very decent Wolves side. Since their new managers come in, a very decent Wolves side, and we beat them 3-0. You know, the first goal was a little bit lucky with a deflection. Isak's been given the goal because it was going in anyway, but it was a huge deflection. Jose Sarr was completely at the other side of the goal. He had no chance with it. But, you know, we kept going, and I think that second goal really sort of killed things off in a way. Another great move from Newcastle United. Bruno with a sensational little clip ball into Isak, and Isak, as deadly as he is from that area, I mean, no chance for the goalkeeper. But a very good move leading up to it, and the vision of Bruno. I initially thought that was actually offside. But when you saw the replay, Agbadu was standing, 3 yards further forward than Isak. So there you go. Brilliant goal. And then, of course, the Gordon goal. Isak played through again. Thought he was going to maybe fire it for the far post to try and get the hat-trick. He was unselfish, tried to clip it to Gordon, got a lucky ricochet back to him, held onto the ball. Gordon took a brilliant spot up just outside the 6-yard box and then buried it in the corner. So that's when the main substitutes were sort of made, when the game was comfortable. I didn't mind. I thought maybe waited a little bit too long for the substitutions, but what the hell? You know, you can't criticise. We won 3-0. You know, and then the right players were taken off. Livramento had a tremendous game tonight, but he was absolutely gassed at the end, 100% gassed. You know, and he brings on Trippier just to see the game out. But again, I think we defended okay, not brilliant at times, because Wolves carved us open a couple of times. I think that would certainly need to be addressing in the build-up to the Bournemouth game, and I'm sure Eddie will look at that. But overall, you know, again, a very, very competent and professional performance. And when we're not at our best, we're still playing some decent football, but we're also scoring goals. And this was a big problem for us early in the season, when sometimes can you remember when we wouldn't even get through a game with a shot on target? But now we're looking to shoot on all occasions. Jacob Murphy, I mean, he got one when he cut in on his left foot, good save by Sarr, and then his right foot, which again was a good save by the goalkeeper. And that's the thing about Jacob Murphy that I think needs to be appreciated. The fact that the defenders don't know where he's going, because he's got the ability to cut in on his left and have a good shot, and he's got the ability to go on his right and either shoot or clip it in for Isak. So there's a lot of real benefits about Jacob Murphy at the moment, and people keep going on about this purple patch. Well, is it really a purple patch with Jacob Murphy? Or has he just improved? Because we can't keep saying it's a purple patch, guys, because this guy has clearly improved his game to a level that is astounding right now. Really astounding. He's a dangerous player. You know, he takes up great positions when we're on the attack. He knows how to create space for himself. And he's in a position where sometimes it can be knocked into him and he's on the edge of the box ready to shoot, or he's also ready to drive that ball across for any Newcastle United player that is running in on the ball. And he is at the height of his career at the minute, Jacob Murphy. No doubt about it. But the midfield was a little bit weak, I thought, today. Certainly, Tonali was sensational, don't get me wrong. But I think Bruno took a while to get going tonight, and Joe Linton looked very, very leggy. Now, that's understandable because Joe Linton has played a hell of a lot of football right now. But he just looked very leggy tonight, didn't look at the races, did have a good shot, of course, in the first half, just over the bar. But I think his touch wasn't quite with it tonight, and he just looked a bit leggy. I don't know whether you agree with me on that one, but clearly I think Joe Linton could do with a rest. I honestly do think he could do with a rest. But when you've got Miley to come in, I would have no problem in resting Joe Linton and putting Miley in. I wouldn't have a problem at all. Not Joe Willock for me, because Joe Willock, again, he came on today and I was disappointed with Joe Willock. You know, he tried to take a couple of players on, didn't happen, lost the ball a few times. I just think Miley is ahead of everybody at the minute as the next one to step in. And if Joe Linton does need a rest, for me, I wouldn't mind seeing Miley start on Saturday. Bournemouth are a really good side in really good form. This is going to be a very tough game. So we need players who are at their very best. And for me, Miley, he's at that level. Playing alongside Bruno, he can play that way. He can play no problem at all. But again, that's down to the manager to see what Joe Linton's fitness is like. I just think he was a little off the pace tonight. But again, defensively, brilliant from Botman. Made a couple of really good tackles tonight. Byrne towering and commanding again. And the two full-backs had great games for me. There was a couple of times Lewis Hall got beaten in the first half. However, if you look at the replay, one of them he slips. It's not his fault. I think it was Gomez or Guedes that got in behind him. But they didn't score and we weren't punished. I think the Wolves manager will probably be very disappointed that his side didn't really get a goal out of the game that they probably deserved. You know, they had 13 shots on goal, 7 on target. You'd expect maybe a goal from that sort of ratio, but it was poor finishing as well. It wasn't all about Dubravka saving, although he did save us a couple of times. Some of the finishing, Sariba's one, I think, late on in the second half when he just passed it back to Dubravka. I think it was a very poor miss. So they've only got themselves to blame on that front. We can only look at ourselves, though. And again, it's 3-0. We're 4th in the table. We're absolutely flying right now, guys. Absolutely flying. You know, we're great to watch. I mean, that first half wasn't the best tonight by any stretch of the imagination, but we continue to score goals. We continue to give teams a really hard time. There was times that maybe the intense press wasn't there tonight, but there was times it was. And, you know, we are going to get these games, guys, where we're not sort of intensively pressing constantly. You know, there's going to be the games where I think the Wolves manager did his homework tonight on us, and they performed really well. But we are a better side, and the better side prevailed. And prevailed because we have a front three right now who are absolutely electric. And as Alex said there, at the end of Matchday Live, he thinks that front three is one of the best in Europe right now. And the stats don't lie on that. You know, they are flying, and it's really exciting. We know the midfield is what it is, but I'm just generally really pleased. Really pleased. We've come through a real stern test tonight against Wolves, and you might say, yeah, but they're near the bottom of the table. But they have improved since their new managers come in. They've got some very good players, but for us to go out there, score 3 goals, another clean sheet for Dubravka, we can't complain about that at all. I'm absolutely delighted. We're 4th in the table. We've got a lunchtime kickoff on Saturday against Bournemouth. Eddie will have the players ready, whichever way he goes with it. If he rests Joe Linton, I don't know. He just looked tired tonight, but he's looked that way in the last couple of games. I don't know whether you agree with me. Let me know in the comments what you think. But again, how can you complain? We're 3-0 winners. We've won convincingly. And now we're 4th in the table. This crest of a wave just keeps going. And hopefully we can still do that on Saturday against Bournemouth on the lunchtime kickoff. But there you go. Let me know, as usual, what you think of the match down in the comments. I do read them all. I can't reply to them all, but I do read them all, guys. I'm very, very interested to know what you guys think. Do you think we were a little bit off today? Not at the pinnacle of our play, but still, it's a sign of an excellent team when we come through and win a game 3-0 when we quite haven't been at our best. So let me know what you think and what you think of certain players' performances, and we'll discuss it all again in the review tomorrow night when we'll take a further in-depth look at it, and at 7 o'clock, and of course we'll do the player ratings. But thank you very much for watching, much appreciated. Please do give it a like if you've enjoyed the video, and of course if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. It is free to do so, but don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload or a live show. But we'll see you all again very, very soon. 3-0 winners, 4th in the table. How are the lads? See you soon, guys.